Oh, you're watching Campus France Live. Thanks a lot to be there with us. Today, we're going to discover a French business school with international opportunities, emlyon Business School, and its Master in Management. To talk about this program, I'm very pleased to welcome Lionel SITZ. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. We're also with Antonella DURAND, LABAN. Hello.
Hi.
One of the students of the program, and Gaurav CHAKRABORTY. Hello, Gaurav.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. First of all, Lionel, can you introduce emlyon Business School in a few words?
Yes, in a few words, we are a school, Lionel School. We have been created in 1872, so 150 years ago. And we are one of the most prominent French business schools.
And we're going to discover more about the school with a quick video. We will be back just after that.
Today, taking action is about committing and understanding that the planet will be much better off when we take care of it. It is about trusting and holding out a hand to each and every one of us, because together we are stronger. Today, taking action is about giving it all you've got to make the great leap into the workforce. It is about having the courage to climb higher and see further. Today, taking action is about experimenting, innovating, daring. It is a state of mind that we cultivate together. emlyon. Learning how to make a difference, here and now.
A school where we can learn to make a difference. Lionel, can you introduce the Master in Management? What do we study concretely?
So the whole disciplines of management in a broader sense. And we try to specialize our students progressively. So at the end, they are professionally acquainted, but the idea is to give a broad overview before specializing.
And what are the different courses that we can follow in the program?
So we have what we call fundamentals and DNA courses that they took in the first year to give, as I said, the broadest overview of management. And then they progressively specialized in taking what we call elective classes to progressively specialize themselves.
Maybe, Antonella, you can introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from and why you decided to join emlyon Business School.
Yeah, of course. My name is Antonella. I am from Peru, and I decided to join emlyon basically because I like the learning approach that they have. It's not only theory. That's what I wanted when I started looking for a university in France. It's like a place where I can learn by doing. So I really like that we can really discover a lot of stuff by practicing cases and doing different activities in the class. So that's what I choose.
And what did you do before joining emlyon Business School?
I was working in banking in a bank called Interbank in Peru.
And you, Gaurav, what is your background? What did you do before joining the school?
So my name is Gaurav. I come from India, the eastern part of the country. I am a recent graduate, having completed my engineering in June of last year. So I did not have work experience, and I was looking at the Master in Management program. The fact that it originated in France, it actually attracted me to it. emlyon is one of the top universities, and the option of them giving us a gap year in which we can gain work experience actually motivated me to opt for it.
And we can see the picture just behind us. Lionel, emlyon is located in the heart of Lyon, a good city to study.
Yes, that's right. So we historically we have been located in Ecole, so west from Lyon, and this September we'll move into this very nice campus in the heart of Lyon.
The Master in Management we're talking about is a 100% English program.
So for those who are English speaking, it's a 100 English speaking program, but we also have French speaking courses for those who prefer French.
And you just talked a little bit about the different subjects that we can learn. Can you tell us a few words about the specializations? What can we do concretely when graduating?
So as I mentioned earlier, we have elective courses. So we have a little more than 200 electives. So we have a very broad offer. And the main specializations are consulting. So we are one of the top schools in strategic consulting. Of course, finance, marketing, human resources, but also law, geopolitics. I'd say we have as many specializations as students.
And what they want to do. Antonella, maybe can you describe a little bit the student life you have? What are the different classes that you're following? How do you organize your week? Can you tell us a few words about that?
Yeah, of course. Like for me, we have different classes every day. We have, for example, my favorite one last year was negotiation and sales, because I really wanted to understand how to make a win-win situation. And I like that there is a really international approach in the class. There are different nationalities, so we can all understand of each other and learn. My day-to-day is basically going to the school and having time with my friends. It's really cool that we have a happy hour every Monday, so we spend classes and then later we can hang out in the rooftop. So that's a really cool activity. And yeah, basically that's are my days.
Do you see, Gaurav, differences in the teaching method between what you're doing in France and what you were used to doing in India?
Definitely, sir. The way even she said that negotiation and sales was her favorite subject, it was the same for me. So we were given case studies and we had to actually negotiate with our class members, and then we were given the debrief. So it is very different from the way it was taught back in India.
It's important, Lionel, for you to give a very practical point of view with all the theory that you're teaching with your professor.
Well, I mentioned earlier the history of the school, saying we date back 150 years, and I think we have been created at that time to be practically oriented. So we try to have students who are capable of thinking, but also put their ideas into motion, into practice. So we have a lot of courses that are dedicated to this interface between thinking and doing in practice.
Do you have, Antonella, examples of concrete projects you're working on or you have been working on?
A project, for example, for me was in PCE. Basically, we did an enterprise. So our project was to create snacks of fruits dehydrated. So we created a whole company, the whole marketing, and it was a really good experience because I was with French and Chinese. So each of them had different point of view, different ways of working. So even though it was a challenge to really connect, at the end we really present a good job, and I'm really proud of it.
And you, Gaurav, do you have an example of a project that was interesting for you to do?
So our course, as Sir mentioned, we have different DNA courses. So PC was the one that we had to actually work on. It was a project that lasted for 3 months, and we had to go do market research. As she mentioned, we had different point of views. We had to focus on one product. So that was really an interesting one.
It's a master program. How long does it last, Lionel?
So depending on the path of the students, so it takes 2 years to complete. But as Gaurav was saying, we have a gap year which is possible, and also depending on what they want to achieve, it can take longer.
What background is required for the international students?
So the minimum required is a bachelor, but then we have students who have a master who enter. We also have some, they are not numerous, but some students with a PhD degree. So the minimum is a bachelor to be to possibly candidate to our school.
And in terms of field of the bachelor, do you have requirements? Is it necessary to have a background in management, or is it possible to have, I don't know, literary or scientific background?
I was saying that he did an engineer background, so we are looking for diversity. So I'd say, of course, management bachelor are welcome, but we are looking for architect, doctors, engineers, scientists.
And what are then the different steps to apply?
So so you have two ways to apply. So join a school in France on one hand, and direct international admission. So you submit your file with a CV, motivation letters, etc. And then you do a video interview that is then evaluated by our professors.
And then, do you know quickly if you're in, or do you have to wait to have the answer of the school?
So I would say it's quite quick, even though some students would like to have the answer right away, but it's quite quick. It takes, depending on when you apply, it's a rolling process. So depending on when you apply, you receive the answer within, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks.
Antonella, how did your application process go? How was it for you?
Join a school in France. So basically, I put all the documents I needed, like the recommendation letters, the GMAT or GRE exam, the English exam, and then they made me an interview. So later, then I realized that I was accepted.
Okay. And what were the different questions that you had during the interview?
In the interview, they basically wanted to know about my background. I studied international business, what I have been working on, so also my volunteering works. It was really an interview about talking about what I did in my past and how that can be, how can I be a good member of the court. So basically that was.
What would be your advice, Gaurav, for the students, international students watching us today and wanting to join the school? What would you advise them to do?
I would advise them to, if they are blank, get in touch with student ambassadors like us, because our seniors also guided us pretty well. Definitely show the things that they have done, show their experiences, create an entire story out of the experiences, because everybody is unique and that is going to make them stand out.
What is the profile, Lionel, of your ideal international candidates? Do you have a profile, a type of student that you like to have in the program?
I mentioned earlier we're looking for diversity, so I wouldn't say we have one profile, but the goal is to have students from all around the world with very diverse backgrounds, and the more diverse, the better we are. But if I had one profile, someone who is nice, willing to study hard, but also to have a student life, and to discover the very nice city of Lyon.
Is it important to already know what we want to do after the master when we apply, or is it possible to be blank?
For us, I think for us, the most important aspect is that we are here to help students define their project, professional and personal. So, of course, we are not looking for someone who knows exactly what he or she is willing to do after. We're looking for students who are motivated.
And that's the key point. We've just said earlier that starting September, you will have a new campus, and we have a little video to discover this campus. We'll be back just after that. Antonella, how would you describe student life in Lyon?
I think I really like it since I arrived here. For me, the BDI, that is the Bureau d'Internationalisation, helped me a lot. When you arrive, you are really new in the city, you don't know no one, everything is really challenging. So for me, they made a lot of activities in the first week that I arrived, and they helped me to get to know people that are in the same situation as you. So you really connect, you bond with people, and it's really fun to meet different nationalities, different backgrounds. So for me, that's it. It's really great. They have a lot of events.
Gaurav, was it your first time in France, or did you already have the opportunity to come? It was your first time?
Yes, this is the first
Did you
time.
have some fears maybe before joining, and how did you overcome them?
I was a little overwhelmed because there were a lot of opinions, positive, negative, but I am a kind of person that I learn while the process is on. So I did not have a lot of expectations, but the student help, the students, the ambassadors, seniors, everybody made it very comfortable for me.
It's something important, Lionel. You have a lot of people coming from different countries. You have a service dedicated to integrate and to help them with all the different steps, both administrative or the steps finding housing, for instance.
Yes, of course we have. We have two different elements. One is we have a team dedicated to these processes, and also we have a student association, Bureau des Internationaux, which is quite helpful, I think, in discovering France and especially discovering the city of Lyon.
In terms of fees regarding the programs, how much does it cost, and how do you help a student to pay these fees?
So it's around 20,000 euros per year for 2 years. And we have a scholarship, especially academic scholarship for students who are eligible to academic scholarship.
And they can have sometimes help from their home countries with all...
Plus the French government.
With the Campus France,
Exactly.
which can help you with all these steps. We're going to talk about the professional world. Do you offer opportunities to conduct internships during the program?
Of course, so it is required for all our students to get their diploma to have at least, for international students, 6 months professional experience. But with the gap year depending on how they manage their courses, they can do quite a lot of professional experience.
Okay. And do you have partner companies to help them find the opportunities?
So we have a lot of partner companies, plus we have a lot of alumni who help students getting internship or jobs after the...
Did you, Antonella, already have the opportunity to conduct an internship or not yet?
Not yet. We are in our first year, so we are just starting to look for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you already know in what kind of companies or in which field you are going to look for your internship?
Yeah, we just have the career fair, and I was really lucky that I just want to change into the luxury brands and luxury industry. So I was ambassador of Hermes, and I really want to go inside this industry. So I'm looking at an internship on that.
Okay. And you, Gaurav, do you already know where you're going to conduct your internship?
I want to get into real estate, and fortunately, I was also the company ambassador for Vansi Constructions during the career forum.
That's interesting because we can see that they want to do their internship in very different kind of companies, very different kind of fields. That's something really important at EMLyon. You can build your own career and you can decide what you want to do.
Yes, definitely. This is what we're looking for. I said diversity entering, but also diversity when they get their diploma. So yes, of course, we try to open the doors and have our students deliver whatever their project is.
And how is the professional integration going for the recent graduates? Is it easy for them to find a job?
Well, I wouldn't say easy because it's never easy, but yes, we are fortunate enough to have 100% students who have a job 6 months after their diploma, and we have 80% of our students who already have a job before they get their diploma. So we are quite lucky on that field.
And do you have examples of salaries they can have after graduating?
It depends on the industry. It depends on the profile of the students, but on average, we have around 54,000 euro per year.
Okay.
For students, on average again. So depending which industry.
I imagine that in the finance
Exactly.
world, it's way more. Antonella, do you already know if you want to stay in France or if you want to go to another country after graduating?
Yeah, for me, I really want to stay in France. I am learning French, so I see a future here in this beautiful city. And I feel that emlyon that was the best way to enter to this place.
And you, Gaurav, do you already know?
Oh, it's a wonderful country. I want to gain the experience. For the time being, yes. In the long run, not sure though.
But it's a possibility that your students have. They can go back to their country, they can go to another country, or they can stay in France. And you help them, for instance, to learn French in order to have a job here?
Yes, I would say we help them learn French, but I think the best way is to practice. Antonella was mentioning the happy hours. I think it's the best way to learn French. Even though I must say, many students speak English quite well. So the language, by definition, is English. Even though we encourage international students to learn French, because if you want to integrate a French company and work in France, it's better to have some basis in French.
Is it possible to apply now, or when is it going to start?
As I mentioned, it's a rolling process for both join a school in France and direct international admission. So we have several intake. So it starts in September. And the last intake is in June, I think.
What would be, Lionel, your last advice for the people watching us today and wanting to join emlyon Business School?
It's always hard to give an advice. If I have one advice, be passionate and share this passion, because we're looking for students who are passionate and have great personalities.
The passion, that's the most important. Thanks a lot, Lionel, Antonella, and Gaurav, for having me with us today. Thank you. Thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions about the Master in Management of emlyon Business School, don't hesitate to visit the website of the school. See you soon on Campus France Live.